All right. Welcome, everyone. We would like to call to order our January 9th Oakwood School Board of Education meeting. Welcome. We are glad that you are here. And this is the organizational part of the meeting. You have to do that at the beginning of every year for just technical things that need to happen. So with that said, I would like to do the roll call. Ms. Sauber?
Ms. DiLorenzo, present. Ms. Kawhi, present. Dr. Middleton, present. Mr. Schwederman,
Present.
Mr. Wilson.
Present. And would you please administer the oath of office at this time for our newest school board member?
Up here. She's in the middle. Stand up here beside you. Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the State of Ohio and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Oakwood City School District in Montgomery County, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified? I will. Great.
All right, on behalf of the board, thank you, Ms. DiLorenzo, for your willingness to serve and engage in all the work that we're about to do. And Ms. Sauber, starting with number 2 on the agenda.
Yep, I'll take over the next few items. Number 2 is, I need a motion to adopt tonight's organizational meeting agenda. So moved.
Second.
And the roll call, Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Schwederman,
Aye.
Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Section 3 is a few organizational items. So letter A, we need a recommendation to set the board meetings for every second Monday of the month. A couple of exceptions to that is June, because we have so many fiscal year end items. We're going to push that to the end of the month. We'll arrange that date later. And then also November, because of the OSBA Capital Conference always falls on that second Monday of the month. Special meetings may be conducted as set by the board within the procedures provided by board policy and the Sunshine Law. And the board meetings will be held here at Harmon Elementary School, unless otherwise stated. So is there a motion for that? So moved. Second. Who was the motion? Sorry. Yeah. And who was the second? Lauren. Got it. Thank you. In the roll call for that, Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Item B is a recommendation to approve the following agenda in meeting notifications for special and regular board meetings, as well as the approved list of persons or agencies that are requesting that notification. The notification will include the time, place, date, and the agenda for the meeting. There's several items down there, including the board members when you get yours, superintendent and treasurer, the OTA gets informed, Oakwood Register, the Dayton Daily News, and then we have several TV stations that also request that information. We also always post through board docs online, and so the general public has access to all of the same information as well on our website. Do we have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion on that? The roll call, Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Letter C is informational only. There's no action on this item. The board does appoint liaisons to various committees. Darren Schwederman, the tech plan committee. Darren Schreederman, Board Policy, Lauren Kawhi, Athletic Boosters, Lauren Kawhi, Fine Arts Boosters, and Lauren Kawhi, the Band Boosters as well. Laura Middleton, PTO, John Wilson, Alumni and Oakwood Schools Foundation, and Debbie DiLorenzo will be on the Business Advisory Council. So again, this is just informational purposes, and we look forward to those board reports that we get from you on those each month. Moving on into items number 4, these are specific authorizations to the treasurer. Letter A is a recommendation to grant the authority to me, the treasurer, to request advanced collections of taxes from the county auditor. This motion, it gives me the authorization to ask for the funds in advance instead of waiting until the settlement comes in either late March or April or several months into each collection period. And that way I can invest those funds so we can maximize our income on those investments. And so I would entertain a motion for item A.
So moved.
Second. Who's the second? Sorry. Thank you. Roll call for that. Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schreederman.
Aye.
Item B is a recommendation to grant authorization to the treasurer to advance or transfer funds when necessary prior to Board of Education meetings during 2023. I always bring those to you anyways for your approval, but in case there's any last minute things or emergency things that were not near a board meeting, then this grants me that authority to be able to do so. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second. And the roll call for that, Mr. Schreederman,
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Item C is a recommendation to grant me the authorization to invest any excess funds that we have in accordance to the Ohio Revised Code, the legal instruments that we have available to us. And this is all set up in board policy as well. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schreederman.
Aye.
Thank you. Item D. Recommendation is made to grant the authorization to the treasurer to pay all routine operational bills within the limits of the appropriations, providing that funds are available. This motion is exactly what it says. It's allowing me to pay all the bills so that we don't need approval for every single one of those at board meetings. Is there a motion? So moved. Second. Roll call, Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Mr. Schreederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And then finally, for me, under the treasurer's items, item E is a recommendation is made to grant authorization to the treasurer to enter into commercial credit card and purchase card agreements. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Mr. Schreederman,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Couch. Ready for this?
All right, so we will go with 5A, which are our legal services. A recommendation is made to grant authorization to the superintendent and treasurer to utilize the services of the law firms of Frost Brown Todd, Bricker and Eckler, and Retzel and Andrus for legal assistance for counseling for 2023. So a motion for 5A, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Schreederman,
Aye.
Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye.
And then a recommendation for item 6A, which is to recognize the Oakwood Teachers Association, or OTA, as the bargaining unit for the teachers during 2023. And we did negotiations last spring. Most of you probably remember that. So a motion for 6A.
So moved. Second. Roll call, Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. DiLorenzo. Aye. Mr. Schreederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Then have a recommendation for 7A, and the recommendation is made to to the Oakwood Board of Education to participate in the Oakwood School Board Association during the 2023 school year. So a motion for 7A.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
And then a recommendation for item 8A. Recommendation is made to adopt the resolution to join the OSBA Legal Assistance Fund for calendar year 2023. And the resolution is provided below there in the public area. So recommendation for 8A.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Mr. Schwederman,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye.
And then a recommendation for 9A for public records training designee. So the recommendation is made to appoint the treasurer or treasurer's designee as the board's public records training designee for the 2023 school year. So a motion for 9A, please.
So moved. So what is that? Okay. Second. Roll call, Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And then item 10, delegate to the OSBA's annual conference. Recommendation is made to appoint Dr. Middleton as a delegate and Mrs. Kawhi as alternate to the OSBA Association's annual conference, which we just recently attended in November. That is not locking anybody in. They don't have to, and everybody is invited to go. So a motion for 10A.
So moved. Second. Roll call, Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And then recommendation for item 11A, recommendation is made to appoint the assistant treasurer and the business manager operations coordinator as the anti-harassment complaint coordinator for 2023. That is a change. Usually I am that as director of ed services, but that turns into a conflict of interest. So we have to adjust that. So a motion for 11A.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye.
And then a motion for item 11B.
Informational.
Oh, this is informational, yeah. The superintendent has made the following appointments for compliance officer, director of ed services designee, EMAD officer, which is with economically disadvantaged, and liaison for homeless. All of those are under ed services. And then we have our OSHA safety director and our top safety hazard preparedness officer, which would be business manager, and then prevailing wage coordinator as our treasurer. So that is for information item only. Then I pass it back to you.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
The final item on our organizational meeting agenda tonight is item 12A is to elect our officers. Are there any nominations for president of the Oakwood City Schools Board of Education for 2023 for president?
I would like to nominate Mr. John Wilson, board president.
Any additional nominations for president? Okay, I'll take the nominations for vice president for the 2023 Oakwood Schools. Vice president. I'd like to nominate Dr. Any additional nominations for vice president? Okay, so can I get a motion and a second to appoint Mr. Wilson as the president and Dr. Middleton as the vice president for 2023 for the Oakwood Board of Education? So,
I'll second.
you know, the roll call for that, Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman,
Aye.
Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the final item on the agenda is we'll go ahead and do an adjournment out of the organizational meeting. A motion to adjourn, okay. Second. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Mr. Schreders. Mr. Wilson.
Aye. All right, and at this time, I would like to call us into order again, and now this time for our regular board meeting. And can we do the roll call, please?
Ms. Di Lorenzo.
Present.
Ms. Kawhi. Present. Dr. Middleton.
Present.
Mr. Schreders.
Present.
Mr. Wilson.
Present. Would you all please rise and join me in our pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A motion to adopt the agenda. Is that a motion, right? Yeah, a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved. Second. Sorry, who was the first?
Thank you.
Oh, call the roll. Thank you.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo.
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schreders.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
And could I get a motion to approval of the minutes from December 12th, 2022 work session and regular board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Schreders.
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye. And now it's time for commendations and public comments.
So we will start with January is School Board Recognition Month. And so I want to thank all of you for your service to the district, and to the students and parents and staff. So Oakwood Schools has a dedicated board of education comprised of members who are informed, hardworking, and most importantly, student-centered. We are pleased to recognize John Wilson, Darren Schwederman, Lauren Kawhi, Laura Middleton, and our newest member, Debbie Di Lorenzo, for their leadership and service to the Oakwood community. So we have certificates for each of you that come from OSBA. You can hang on your wall. So here, there you go. Oh, you're good. There you go. Then we want to pass that down to Darren Schwederman. And yours, because you didn't got sworn in, will be coming. Okay, here's mine. But you'll be waiting, I'm sure for it. There you go. So thank you, in all honesty, thank you for this, for the call to service. Second commendation we have, congratulations to Smith Elementary fifth grader Clara Jameson, who won the 2022 Stein-Tingler Scary Writing Contest. Author R.L. Stein and the contest committee chose Clara's story, The Kettle's Dark Secret, for its creativity. As part of the prize for winning the national contest, Clara will have a virtual visit with author R.L. Stein. So very cool. That is awesome. Congratulations to Smith Elementary students, staff, and families for winning the Dayton Food Bank's Hunger Heroes Award. The award is given to the school that collects the most poundage overall. Smith collected a whopping 5,400 pounds of food this season. A lot. Good job, Smith. So final, but one of the best things we have on our accommodations is our Philanthropy 101 program. So I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Natalie Johnston and Ashley Coyne to talk about that wonderful program.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ashley Coyne and I'm a trustee from the Oakwood Schools Foundation. Each year we support Wall Street 101 with their charity week through a program called Philanthropy 101, which I help coordinate along with fellow trustee Emma Butler as the grants and programs co-chairs. This year, Wall Street 101 classes taught by Natalie Johnson chose the following 5 charities to present upon: Choices Independent Living Program, Shoes for the Shoeless, SIXA, Sophie's Companions for Veterans, and With God's Grace Mobile Food Pantry. I would like to thank these organizations for the time that they spent with our students, teaching them about the specific cause, their nonprofit operations, and the need that exists in our local community. A special thank you to our 2022 Philanthropy 101 Annual Award sponsors who made this program and the awards possible. Angela and Joel Friedman family, Johnson Investment Council, and Abby and Robert Wagner, with additional support from Jessup Wealth Management and the Dayton Foundation. Just a little bit about our program. Philanthropy 101 begins when each student group selects the charity that they are most interested in. And then the student groups go on field trips to learn more about their charity. They do research and planning for their group presentation, which they present in front of a panel of community judges. Because they are all deserving, the students will be judged on a presentation based on a curriculum rubric. This year's volunteer community judge panel included Mackenzie Whitmer, Matt Jessup, and Vince Russell, as well as myself and Emma Butler from OSF. Awards were presented for each organization based on the most compelling presentations. We were so proud of the students for taking part in learning more about philanthropy in our community. So without further ado, here are the awards for these amazing organizations that total $4,400, thanks to the support of our program donors. The winner charities from both of our Wall Street 101 classes presentations are here with us today to receive their charity awards. I will be welcoming them both up for a photo along with Mrs. Johnson and the student representatives who are available tonight. First, I would like to welcome Choices. They're receiving a total check of $1,400 as a result of the Philanthropy 101 program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And next, I would like to welcome SIXA with their representative today. SIXA is receiving a total award of $1,200 to support the welfare and adoption of local shelter. Thank you. Hey, good to see you. Yes.
Done.
You know, all of our organizations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for your support. Next, we have item 3, which is our curriculum showcase. Well, right, so yes, if you would like to take off and go and run,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks
your
for coming
support.
tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Ready to run. Right. Take off. Next, we have our curriculum showcase, which I will turn over to Dr. Lang and she can share.
Okay, our Smith fifth grade teacher, Erin Nye, created an eco action team this fall. And 14 fifth grade students completed applications to be involved and monthly meetings began. The goal of the eco action team is to create citizens that are involved in making Smith more socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable.
Are we able to turn
Can
one
we
of those
turn one of
monitors? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss this amount of work goes into this meeting.
Which one do you want to turn? We should do this one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. That's perfect. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tracy's got it all under control.
She does. Right, always.
That's one of the messages members of the Smith Eco Action Team are hoping to spread to students and staff at Smith Elementary.
It's important to make these commercials, so we try to be awareness of recycling. So we don't have landfills filled with trash. If we don't recycle and we just keep on throwing things away, not recycling them in like 20 years, like pretty soon everything is gonna be covered in trash.
Erin Nye began the club this year as a way to share her passion for sustainability with the Smith community.
Patients to read the student and to know that the farming and so for the reading today, they always even not going to be reuse what we are using and just be careful of doing recently and also we don't be perfectly knowledge.
Yeah, in terms of commercials, we are gonna have posters on the school. Maybe making a compost bin, we don't know, we have to check it. We also, like, we're also gonna make the school aware of all the facilities, like,
We'll talk about maybe their consciousness and the use of awareness. We have a lot of wells very smart. It's just one of the things that we realize we have to try to start using reusable bag with how much less I'm consuming and then get on the else and so.
but then it's like the third step of just recycling the first item, the first few items, and then try getting into a habit of recycling. When one might choose to throw away trash, they should choose to recycle instead.
Very good. What an awesome program. Well done, especially for young folks.
And I do not believe we have any public comments. No, no public comments.
Item 4 is, before we move on, I do have a statement to read about our K-12 process. Is this the appropriate time, the right section? Good, all right, I'll do that. So during the summer, Oakwood Schools Board of Education began a partnership with K-12 Business Consulting to help identify Oakwood Schools' next superintendent. And as part of this K-12 process, as many of you are actually a part of, K-12 has worked with the district to do a number of things, to create a district profile presenting demographic information and highlights of the district and community. They held 4 community-wide open forums, as well as conduct an online survey to gather perspectives from stakeholders about their priorities for our schools. I believe we had 200 different folks participate and give information toward our surveys, which was great. And evaluate and summarize the survey results into an actionable report, providing candidates insight into the community and board members' insight into preferred qualities for the next superintendent. And it's been a very helpful and informative process. The board expresses its deep appreciation for all who took the time to share their hopes and dreams for Oakwood Schools. Today marks a significant pivot in this process. After the Board of Educational, Organizational, and regular meetings today, board members will enter into executive session with K-12 consultants to screen applicants and select candidates to advance to our first round interviews. Now, additional information regarding the interview schedule is available on the superintendent search page on the Oakwood Schools website. I encourage you all to go there, lots of information there. The public is invited to participate in a public meet and greet of the final candidates on January 1st and February 1st, and we will, of course, post more details about those events in the upcoming weeks. And I hope you will join us to be finalists and continue to be an active participant in this very important process. Thank you.
You need January 30th.
January.
Oh, what did I say?
You said January 1st.
Oh, January 31st and February 1st. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, and now, do we have any board reports tonight? Okay, all right, very good. Moving on to budget and finance.
Thank you. Item 5A is a resolution accepting a gift from the Oakwood Schools Foundation's Flourish campaign in the amount of $1,450,000 is presented. This is the balance of the funds that we needed to kick off the first phase of the addition of the band and choir and orchestra rooms on the backside of the high school.
Can I get a motion accepting the, I'm sorry, just a motion in 5A?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Dr. Middleton? Aye. Ms. Kawhi? Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo? Aye. Mr. Schreederman?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye, the motion carries.
Yes.
Item B is the December 2022 monthly financial report.
This is informational, nothing really standing out. We're halfway through the fiscal year. But things are going well in terms of financial.
All right, any unfinished business by the board? Any new business by the board? All right, item 8, administrative reports and superintendent recommendations.
So we will have a recommendation is made to approve item 8A through item 8D. Which are really course proposals, and those signups will start happening at the junior high and high school, and then the summer reading program. And then also the calendar for the 24-25 school year, which we usually do 2 years in advance. So recommendation is made to approve 8A through 8D. So a motion.
Can I get a motion for 8A through 8D?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Friederman,
Aye.
Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And then item 8E, sorry, item 8E is just presented for review is the high school and junior high program of studies. And then we'll seek approval at the February 13th board meeting. Then item 8F is the semi-annual report for the bullying is 551701. The bullying and other forms of aggressive behavior were required to post that. So that is from July 1st to July 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. It's informational only. Then we have a recommendation to approve items 9A and 10A through G. So we have a motion for that.
Motion for 8E and F and 9A through 10A through G. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No 8, E and F.
Oh,
which is
I'm sorry, I'm
informational.
sorry. Can I get a motion, please, for 9A through 10A through G?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Friederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye, the motion carries.
And for executive session. Yep.
And we'll take this into executive session. We need a motion to enter into executive session for the specific purposes of considering the employment of a public employee or official.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Friederman.
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Di Lorenzo. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Wilson.
Aye, the motion carries. Thank you all for coming out. That actually concludes our meetings for today, and we're headed into executive session. Thanks, and no further business will be, no further action will be taken from that board. Thank you.
Okay.